Colorado is a largely rural state. Most of the state faces shortages of primary care physicians. To help address that need, the Rural Track was founded in 2005 to recruit, admit, and nurture students who intend to work and live in rural Colorado upon completion of their training. The track adds experiences during all 4 years of medical school for its members. Students attend extra seminars, learn hands-on skills, receive mentorship, and gain clinical experience to reinforce and inspire their rural aspirations by immersing themselves in rural life. The Rural Track connects students with residencies that focus on rural preparation and with practice sites as they near the completion of their post-med school training. The goal of the Rural Track is to increase the number of University of Colorado Medical School graduates who enter and remain in practice in rural Colorado.
As far as a career goes, why not try to find a career as close as possible to where you like to be? And so rural Colorado is that, and being a doctor is going to be so satisfying and a fulfilling career. I can't imagine not doing it somewhere like rural Colorado.
I'll say selfishly, I think the Rural Track is a huge draw for our students. They're interested in applying here to CU because they want to be part of the Rural Track. We send student surveys out, and every year there are people who wouldn't have applied here if they didn't have the option to be part of this experience.
The students who are in the Rural Track do not pay any extra tuition or fees for being in the Rural Track. We buy instructional materials for the students. We also spend a fair amount of money in helping students get to rural areas for clinical experiences, and that is another pivotal component of the Rural Track. We also provide a stipend for the students during the summer between their first and second year, because normally those students would be working, and we do provide a stipend for them when they go to a rural practice to get some rural clinical experience very early in their training, much earlier than any of the other students would get.
I would certainly recommend the Rural Training Track to future medical students. I think it's helpful just to have a community within medical school, and one that is very positive and encouraging of primary care.
They are a kindred spirit, and I think I could say without exception, all of us really enjoy being around each other, and it's just nice to be around people that want to do the same thing.
And I feel like the Rural Track really gives you the chance to work with other students that are like-minded, and gives you almost kind of a refuge, people to make connections, people just to kind of share the passion for rural primary care.
And the thing that's great about Rural Track is we all do come from a different place, but we all are coming to the table together with this same interest in mind, where we are really interested in rural healthcare, and we really do want to help these smaller communities. So it kind of just gives you this foundation from which to build these wonderful friendships. I think the skills labs for Rural Track are some of the best things that you'll do during your first years of med school, just because Dr. D always tries to make them educational but also really fun. So we usually have a 15 to 20 minute talk in the beginning, and then after that, the remainder of your time for those 2 hours are just you doing all sorts of things.
I would definitely encourage anyone, even with the slightest interest in either primary care or rural medicine, to join the Rural Track. I think we're given a great advantage as the Rural Track students, being able to do some of these suture labs, all of the hands-on activities, which really gives you an advantage going into third and fourth year and even into residency.
Students do well when they have faculty mentors, and that's hard to do with a class size of 184 students. But in the rural track, students get to know the faculty individually, and that mentoring that's provided is absolutely invaluable.
In some rotations, you can be a wallflower. You can sit back and not participate and just follow, shadow, we call it sometimes. We don't do that here. The students jump in, they participate fully in patient care as our partner, and that's the way I teach.
My husband and I kind of have the philosophy of having students just get right in with patient care. You know, right, regardless of what year they are along their way, we want them to be involved, not just watch, but really actually talk to patients and, you know, put hands on for exam and tell me what they're thinking and diagnosis, and, you know, start coming up with a plan. And, you know, they jump right in. Yeah.
I tell the students, once you're in the rural track, you're in the rural track for life. Part of that long-term commitment that we have to our students involves helping them find jobs.
I think just having the rural track stamp on my application really opened a lot of doors. I've had no shortage of interviews. Any program that I've wanted to look into, I've heard back from.
We would like to fill all of our positions with CU rural track grads every year. They're always good. They always have great personalities, and it's certainly much more likely that they would stay in the state after they graduate.